What's up guys, Raymond here with another financial statement analysis video, and we're going to be doing our episode 11 for today, which is going to be analyzing the stock STO, and this is the 11th episode in the German materials stocks analysis. So without further ado, let's get into the key ratios. If you're new to my financial statement analysis videos, what we do is we analyze the top 3 financial statements of each, relevant to each stock, those being the income statement, balance sheet, and cash flow statement. We pick out the most important factors of each statement, and from there we attempt to summarize and come up with some form of idea of how strong the company is and whether or not the company has a viable future. Without further ado, let's get into the key ratios. The company STO has a market cap, which is an overall price of 363 million euros, which is quite small compared to not only our minimum requirements, but in comparison to the other stocks we've analyzed. Revenue figure was 1.5 billion euros, which is a multiple of maybe 5 or more of the overall price of the company. So that's quite strange. Let's just check the price fluctuations for this year to see how much the company's lost, how much value the company's lost. 29% the company's value lost. So that doesn't quite explain an over 500% difference, an over 450% difference between the overall price of the company and 1 year's revenue. Anyway, the dividend yield, which is the amount of the percentage of income over the stock price that the company is going to pay out to its shareholders, is 3.49%, which is okay, but it's not quite at our minimum requirement of 5%. The PE ratio, which is the overall price of the company divided by the earnings per share, is 9.03, which is good. We look for a PE ratio of 10, or around 10. Earnings per share, 15.86 euros. Let's just check the market price, 152, which is about 10%. So that's good. Anything around 10% for earnings per share per year is really good. If you can maintain that earnings per share over a long period of time, that's good. The beta, which is the overall risk level of a stock in a particular year, up to this date is 0.9, which is good, just 10% under the market average of 1. So we're going to get into the financial statements, starting with the income statement. So as you can see, the income statement, the total revenue is 1.59 billion euros. The gross profit is 844 million euros. Total operating expenses were 1.47 billion euros, and the operating income was 124 million euros. Net income before taxes, 127 million euros. Net income after taxes, 94 million euros. Net income before extraordinary items was 92 million euros. Net income overall was 92.72 million euros. Income available to common shareholders excluding extraordinary items was 92.72 million euros. Diluted earnings per share excluding extraordinary items was 14.43 million euros. If you guys are familiar with the term extraordinary items, it simply relates to any any income or any gains or losses throughout a financial year that are not necessarily consistent. So they're quite novel, or quite new, or quite random. Anything that's new, that's not necessarily consistent or part of a or expected in a particular financial year, is classified as an extraordinary item. So the balance sheet, let's get into that. The total current assets are 457 million euros. Total assets are 896 million euros. Total current liabilities are 214 million euros. Total liabilities are 409 million euros. Total equity is 486 million euros. Total liabilities plus shareholders' equity is 896 million euros. Total common shares outstanding are 6.43 million euros. Tangible book value per share is 65 million euros. Let's just quickly go to the total equity, which is the debt plus liabilities, 486 million euros compared to, so that is basically the overall worth of the company. So if you were to take away if you were to add the liabilities with the assets, the overall liquidity value would be roughly 486 million euros. And that is about 100 million, just over, more than 100 million euros more than what the company is selling for, because the company is selling for just under 400 million euros. So that would be classified somewhere as a net investment. If you don't know what net investment is, it's a term coined by Benjamin Graham, who was a very big investor and a mentor to Warren Buffett. But he coined the term net investment, which is basically the book value or the total equity of the company. When the total equity of companies selling is more than what the selling value is, i.e. market cap. So let's get into the cash flow statement, which is my favorite statement. The net income, which is the starting line, was for 56 million euros. The cash from operating activities was 116 million euros, and the cash from investing activities was negative 31 million euros. We usually see a negative figure for the investing activities because that shows what the company is invested in. So capital expenditures took up essentially all of the investment cash flow for debt cash flow devoted for investment. So capital expenditures is just the company's allowance for expanding its operations, so expanding its capital. And the other investing cash flows were very minimal. So cash flow from financing activities, so what the company's brought in, as well as how it's managed its debt and whether or not it's paid a dividend. Financing cash flow items garnered 7.5 million euros. Dividends paid out was 26 million euros. Issuance of debt, so it managed to clear off 29 million euros of debt, which is really good for the company. Net change in cash for 2019 was 23 million euros, and let's check the 2021 financial year. Net change in cash was 7.9 million euros, 7.09 million euros. So that is it. 94 million euros for the net income, which is good compared to the 2019 and 2020 financial year. So it seems to be increasing its net income steadily over the past 3 financial years. Let's hope next year, or at the end of this current financial year, it exceeds 94 million euros in net income, as well as exceeds net change in cash of 7.09 million euros. So without further ado, I'm going to close this video. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next one.